Hey guys, this is Bobby Davis. We're here in the tech capital of the world, Kernersville, North Carolina. I am the CEO and president of Coder, Foundry, and Cortex. And I'm joined here by my ever great and I don't know what I'm going to say. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
I'm here.
I was trying to give you a compliment. I couldn't think of anything.
I get it. I'm uncomplimentable.
That's it, man.
I get it.
So we're still in lockdown. So we were reading the news and talking about the news this morning. So I thought we would just do a show about news because there's some articles that I think are that you guys are interested in.
Yeah, definitely. So it's sort of a thing when we were in the office before, we would do this a lot.
Yeah,
we would come in and you'd be like, "Man, did you see that thing today?" And we're like, "Yeah," and then we talk for an hour about something that was.
And I would rant about it. So
yeah, and we'd have an opinion on it. So we thought maybe on a Friday, this is what we'll do. We'll pick stuff that we would probably talk about during the week, and talk about it with you guys because you guys probably have opinions on this too. So we want to hear them.
Yeah. So and some of these are very important to us as developers anyway. Of like some of these are going to shape the way the industry is working. So if you're just breaking in, I think we're going to tell you a couple of things today that how this news will frame what you do and what you learn and those kind of things. So, but definitely. If you want to come on the show and you have a hot take on one of these, DM Kevin up. I'd like to get some, get you on the show and talk to some people because I'm really interested in specifically a lot of these, like what you think. And because we have our opinions and we do. Right. I'm very opinionated. Well, Kevin knows. So and I'm not always right either. So I do know, at least I'm self-aware of my opinion, which I tell you all the time. Yeah, that's my opinion. I'm
100% the same way. I have an opinion on something. It doesn't make it fact. It's
or just wrong even,
wrong or right. It's what we think.
And that's the thing too, is if you have an opinion that differs from mine, we can still be friends.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep, so that's kind of the way it is.
Opinions on lots of things.
We do, we're still friends.
That's just how it is. We're still friends. So definitely.
Yeah.
Let's say hey to some of our other friends here.
All right,
we have Simon here, Adam's here. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for being the mod too. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Adam.
MSV's here as well. Glenn is here. Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Glenn.
Beth is here. Happy Friday, Beth.
Nightbot got after Glenn. Nightbot got after Glenn.
Did it? What did I don't know what it did. I need to go look at Nightbot. Nightbot was kind of harsh yesterday. I don't know what it was doing. I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. So if it's harsh again today, I apologize.
Yeah.
Glenn says, Friday. And it's a long weekend too. So
and Nightbot said, chill out, Glenn. So let's put it on here.
What did you do, Glenn?
Friday. Anything repeated, Nightbot doesn't like that.
I don't know if that's what it got him for. Hold on, I'm gonna look because I have Nightbot open here. I'm gonna see what it got you for, Glenn. Hold on, what did it get you for? No, it's to do with here's what it's doing. It's to do with MSV's name because MSV's name is in all caps. When somebody answers back to MSV, Nightbot doesn't like that his name is a lot of caps, so it says, "Hey, quit spamming caps."
Okay, even though it says chill warning, Glenn.
Yeah, that's what it's doing. I can see it on the back end. What Glenn did. That's what happened. So.
Sorry, MSV.
Sorry, we'll fix that. I'll fix Nightbot.
Yeah,
but I'll do it after this.
Oh, from the Dominican. I've been in the Dominican.
I haven't. It's on my list.
I've been there. I was helping someone build a building in the Dominican.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was digging a footer, and I uncovered a nest of tarantulas.
Okay.
And so that was kind of scary, and maybe our genus can tell us what these things are. There was these little fruits. They're like this big, but I swear to you, green Jolly Ranchers got their flavor from this fruit. The most amazing thing ever. I cannot remember what they called them. You could eat those things by the buckets. This tasted exactly like green Jolly Ranchers. So maybe
there you go. Genesis, if you know what that is, put it in the chat.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool.
That'd be awesome. Raphael said, "Did you die?"
No, but it was like this big. It was blue, and it was scared me to death. I felt like I was on Tomb Raider or something.
That's funny. David's here too. Hey, David, welcome back. It's awesome. There you go. Genesis says fruits. Let me think. So
they're green and they're this big, and you just eat them, and they taste like Jolly Ranchers. So anyway, if you know what a Jolly Rancher is, I don't know. So it's kind of cool. It's awesome. They should sell those like they don't. I don't think it should be like an export for Dominican.
Yeah, I've not seen a fruit like that. I don't know. Interesting. Maybe you can only get it there.
Yeah.
There you go. Beth wouldn't need a plane back if she got a tarantula mess. Yeah, I could see that. That's not for me either. Not a spider guy.
Yeah, they went everywhere. It was kind of you run like 400 yards away. You know. So
that's scary.
Definitely have one of the mummy movies or something.
So first story, my big news for the week. My PC shipped. So that's cool.
Yeah. That is cool.
I'm waiting on it. It'll be here next week.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm impatiently waiting on that because I don't like to wait patiently. I'm like, I'd rather go to the store and get it if I could, but I can't. So
you can't get that water cool goodness
I have to wait
from the store, though.
No, it's not as good as it.
This is what I want, and I can't get it. So like, I can't get this. This is what I want. You just can't get them anymore. So you got an NCXT like build. I want the computer, the H1. That's what I'm waiting for. And you told me, you said they came in stock, and I'm signed up for like they're supposed to notify me, and they didn't because they went out of stock the same day.
Yeah, it went out of stock in minutes. Like I've been following these guys, and they have a Discord channel too, and I've been following them since I ordered my stuff from them. And it's like people didn't even get a chance to post that. People were complaining that they ordered and they didn't even check out in time.
Yeah,
like I don't know how many they sold, but they sold a lot quickly.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting because this form factor is going to be the same new form factor as the new Xbox too.
Yep, it's going to look like a lot like an Xbox.
Square tower thing.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be more for a living room.
Yeah, so that's what I want.
Yep.
I don't think I'll get one this year though. So
maybe not the way it's going. They're having issues with shipping this stuff in. So
okay, cool.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Let's talk about our first
story. We got some good stories, and I was chatting with the guys in Discord channel before, right before, and so they know one of them that I'm going to talk about. But like, what's our first story?
Yeah, and actually, David's talked about this one here too. We are going to get to this in a bit.
We're going to get to this in just a second.
We're going to talk about this because we're interested in this too.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead and share my little tab here. Let's talk about this story first.
Okay.
So, Facebook is now going to let some employees work from anywhere, but their paychecks could get cut.
Yeah, and so what he's saying is they're going to pay you based on your cost of living.
Which actually they already sort of do.
I guess.
But the thing is here, what they're saying is, let's say that you were in San Francisco and let's say you're making $200,000 working at Facebook in San Francisco, and you decide that, now I want to take an option of this, I want to go remote and I want to move to Wyoming. They're saying, well, you can't take your $200,000 with you. You're going to have to take a pay cut.
Do you think they're going to, like, if you're in Wyoming now and you're working for Facebook, they're just going to cut your salary?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to. I think if you're already established and you're not moving, I think it's going to stay the same, or maybe not. Maybe they're going to try. Think about this. It's a giant money saving thing on many, many, many levels. Not only just on salary, but think about when you have to have a building half the size now.
Oh yeah.
Facebook has 45,000 employees. They have more than one building.
Right.
They can technically, when they encourage people to move out, they're going to shut some of these things down because the overhead for the building it's got to be huge.
But what if you fix like Facebook's AI for articles? Like, I don't know if you've been keeping up with that. Like they tested the Facebook AI to like reject bad COVID news, and like it didn't work at all. But like, so like, you drinking Clorox is okay according to Facebook AI. But what if you're like, what if you're a genius level guy? You're like moving the needle for Facebook, and just because you live in, Kernersville, they say, we'll pay you less.
I think there's going to be exceptions.
Okay. So the rock star is always going to get an exception?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but we'll see. So it's gonna, it's a big company making a big move.
Yeah.
It's also gonna set a trend.
Well, I think
Twitter
remote.
did it already, but
Yeah, I do believe this though. I do think that COVID is going to change the face of the career of a software developer. I really believe that going to the tall building at Facebook and Google and Microsoft is over. I think
right,
this transition may take place over the next year, or they may just like Facebook saying, we're just done with the office building.
right,
And so that brings up some interesting things. I don't personally, I'd rather be paid on my merit than my location. That's personally what I think. I think if I'm moving the needle, I want to be paid for moving the needle, not because my mortgage payment's cheaper, you know.
right. No, I get it.
It's not my fault that you want to buy $1 million home or $1 million shoebox in San Francisco. I mean, you know.
Yep.
So.
No, I get it. I see both sides. I really do. I see it all.
Yeah. Let's see what some people say. What do you guys think?
Wikia says your cost goes down by working at home. Yes. Less gas
Yes.
money, less wear and tear on your vehicle, more you time because of travel to and from work. Yes. But it's also costing you more at home to heat, to cool, to use the electric, to do all those extra things as well. Now, maybe it doesn't offset exactly, but there is an extra cost to working from home as well. But in the US, you can actually write some of that off too. If you work from home all the time. So there are tax incentives to that as well. I don't know if that's a similar thing in the rest of the world, but it is here.
Right. You definitely can write off some whole square footage. And of course you're going to need, if I don't know, most people here in the US probably already have broadband internet. So, but like if you don't, maybe that's a concern. Or if you can't live in the sticks either, because you know, fiber's not everywhere. So
and this is something we're talking about too. When we all push to this, so let's say Facebook employees all end up working remote from home, they have to up their game at home.
Yeah, I think that's the consideration. I think what you should do. I think we were talking about this earlier, like what developers are going to have to do is how do I remain visible and seen as adding value when I'm invisible to everybody?
Yep.
You know, and like we were joking, like, you know, like, hey, did you look at my commit history? You know, and they haven't talked. No, I didn't, because you were. I haven't talked to you in 2 years.
Yeah, you weren't social on this week's team meeting, so I didn't even know you worked here anymore.
I didn't know you were there. Like, and coding introverts were kind of like that. We'll kind of like want to stay behind the scene. So I think you're gonna have to invest in like your cameras, what your team meeting looks like, you know. And then I think you're going to have to learn to be more visible, and how do you become better at your job by being more social. So, cool.
Right. Yeah.
All right. See what else someone says. Just DM Kevin if you want to appear. We'd love to hear what you got to think about that.
Yeah. If anybody wants to come.
You want to be judged that you live in a big city or judged that you live in a small city? You know, I mean, that's kind of interesting. I could see whole tables of pay ranges coming out from Facebook in a spreadsheet.
Based on your geographic location. Well, think about this too. They're talking about, at this point, this article actually says too, they're talking about just US and Canada.
Yeah. Right.
So what happens when it becomes global too?
Right.
The economic differences globally are huge too.
It is.
So you could be working in like some small town in Kazakhstan, right? Somewhere like middle of nowhere. Like what are they going to pay you then? Like, how do you even come up with that?
I think you should be paid on merit. That's what I want. That's what I want. I know Facebook's not going to do that. Like, they're going to say,
well, no, because that's going to cost them the most amount of money.
Yeah, exactly. So we're not going, you know.
That's, yeah. Here you go. Glenn says he's happy about this. Prefers working from home using my own tools. There is that too, yeah.
And you may not use your own tools. They may require you to use other tools.
Yeah, they may. Yeah, they may require you to use tools. Yeah. So I worked for a company once where they did provide. I worked from home, and they provided absolutely everything. I mean, down to the nth degree, including like how you had to go through an audit for basically your setup for the way that you sat, your posture, how your ergonomics of your workspace were checked. You had to send in photographic evidence of your ergonomics.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of crazy. They don't want to be liable for that stuff.
So you can't just hang on the couch and sling some code, man. You know, you got to be permanent
Oh,
military.
that was not going to happen. Yeah.
But I think too, like security is a big concern. So like if you're working for a fintech or something like that, you're going to have to go through some security checks, those kind of things. So you may have to even, but I would imagine like for Facebook, you may even have a VPN where you just log into a workstation or something.
Yep.
And use it, even though you can use, local stuff tools. So
right. Adam said, if you're starting a business tomorrow, you'd avoid a physical work site as much as possible.
For coding, yeah, I can see. I see what you're saying. If you're selling pizza, no.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For coding, yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Here we go. Jen says that there is an extra cost. I've been working remotely for 2 months and I'm spending more on food and electricity. Yeah. So that's what we're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that too. Yeah. I think there was some, I don't know if it was tongue-in-cheek article, but they were saying that people in San Francisco, where a lot of these places give you free lunch, they wanted to be reimbursed since they had to go home.
Okay. That's kind of nuts. It was a benefit.
So that was to get you to come into the office. Yeah. So now, but it is, I mean, like when you look at California, I mean, like especially the Bay Area. And so, in a former life, I owned a company and we had a California arm, and I'd been out there, and the cost of living is crazy. I don't know how they afford it.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, I don't get it. For $1 million in San Francisco, you could buy an absolute mansion here in where I live. Like
right.
You could house 40 people in it. Like it's just ridiculous how big it would be.
$1 million in California. That's what you see the billboards you drive by. It's like starter home.
Yeah, from starter home in the low 1 million. It's like what in the world?
Wow. So. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah. So David says, I guess Facebook will have a problem with data security.
Yeah, I think so.
The CEO of Facebook will fly, let's say, to Germany to look at what the employees are doing with the data.
That's interesting. It's a problem, man.
Yeah, it is. Data security just in general, when you're fragmented like that, for sure, it's definitely an extra consideration to take into account.
But I mean, I worked at the bank, and I worked at Wells Fargo. We did a contract out there, and even they were still shipping complete software overseas. So like they're already kind of doing that. But like, if you have access to sensitive data, and it leaks out, you could be in trouble.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Here you go. Thomas has a personal insight to this. Work from home IT job. It's nice, but at the same time, it has its issues. You're alone, no one to have a conversation with, no one to bounce ideas off of. It can be lonely. Yeah, you have to combat that for sure.
Yeah. I feel that way now. I mean, like I'm lonely. I'll start calling the employees.
But that's the thing. Teams has solved that for us at least. Yeah, it makes it easy because we can be like, just jump on Teams, and the person's at the desk, and it's easy.
Right.
And if like, we need to have a conversation with this guy too, and you just pull somebody else into a team meeting. Having that sort of expectation and that sort of framework set up has made it easier for us for sure.
Yeah. So cool.
So the tools are getting better.
Yeah, it's getting better. I think the way we do Teams now, it feels natural. So it's working pretty good.
Yeah.
So, and then some people do like the commute. I mean, the commute, if you're in the US and you're driving and you got like a 40-minute commute, it seems kind of problematic. But then sometimes you can listen to the radio, or you get a book on tape, Audible or something like that. Almost said book on tape. Like that's a thing.
That's funny. We know what you mean. Audible.
Yeah, Audible.
I like commuting.
Yeah, and you do get some downtime. Especially, I've seen people on the subway in New York where you can tell that's their Zen time, even though it seems crazy that you're sitting but they just want to put their headphones in and chill for a second.
Yep.
So there's some plus and minuses. Here's how I'm going to take my final take on this. I like being paid merit. If I have a cheaper house, I don't want to be dinged for that. And I want to be paid on what I bring. That's just me.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Definitely. Okay.
But remote work's coming, dude. No matter what we say, it is coming. It's coming hard. So
it is, and somebody like Facebook is they're definitely pushing that. And a company that big will influence other companies too.
Yeah, let's see what Simon had to say. We have virtual coffees on video chat where we have 15 minutes of non-work related chat.
Okay, so it's like a water cooler chat around the computer. I like that. That's interesting.
That's kind of
because you're right. That is a social thing that does happen in the office for sure.
Yeah.
So we have a daily stand-up meeting where we don't always talk about company stuff.
Yeah, and it's usually my fault.
No, but I don't think it's a fault. I think that keeps us connected.
Yeah, but usually it's me
talking
about exercise or something.
So. No, it's Natasha talking about her run club or something. Normally.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Natasha, if you're watching.
Yeah,
that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about our next story
next one.
here. What do we have next?
Leave us some questions here, guys. Yeah. Okay, so scroll to the top.
Here we go.
So if you were living anywhere in the world, .NET Build will happen this week, and there's a lot of announcements coming out of there. The thing that's motivating all of this is .NET 5. So all of these announcements are centered around one technology, which is .NET 5. Now, what .NET 5 is going to allow us to do is to write code and use that same code base and target multiple platforms. So Xamarin, and if you know anything about Xamarin is the Microsoft's answer to cross-platform mobile. So it's comparable to React Native or Flutter. So the next version of Forms, which will probably be, this is a 2021 thing, is going to be called Maui. And in Microsoft fashion, they'll probably rename it 3 times between now and then. So
they need to rename it 3 times between now and then to get something better than Maui.
But it's not like Xamarin had a great name either. It does now because it sounds kind of cool and it's like
I guess.
Yeah,
I always have to look what it is. It stands for Multi-Platform App UI.
Yeah. So
I love this part, affectionately called .NET Maui. Is it affectionately called that?
I'm not sure. Man. It's so the guy that's working on this probably in Hawaii. They named it Maui, and then they backed into the what the acronym stands for.
And then exactly, it's like let's name it this. Now what can we think? Hold on, let's go. I know.
So, in all seriousness, though, what does this mean to you as a dev? Like, why should I care what they're doing? So, what they're saying .NET Maui will have to do, and this will be part of what's going to be called .NET 6. So like if you're paying attention to what .NET's doing, they're going to release a new .NET every 12 months in November. Kind of like, when Halo gets released every year, .NET will come out around the same time in November, just right for the Christmas season. But like .NET Maui will allow you to target iOS, Mac OS, Windows, Android, with the same project.
What about Linux?
Not Linux. So
because the 3 guys that requested it, they're like, whatever.
So so if you think about it, and to be fair, I know there's a lot of Linux guys out there. What they're talking about is I'm building a consumer-facing application.
Yeah.
So where are all the consumers at? They're not on Linux. Let's just be fair. Devs are on Linux. People are using Linux to do great things, but our applications that people consume, you're not going to Linux and, going to DoorDash. I mean, you're just not doing that. So this is made when you're building those forward-facing applications for your consumers or internally, and you want to target multiple platforms, this is what it's going to do. And so it's an app UI that allows you to build a UI that will run in multiple places with basically you're compiling it differently, and that's kind of cool. And this is where this is going. So when you're looking at yes, exactly. They just need a CLI anyway. So like they don't need apps. Just exactly. That's kind of funny. But this is coming down the pipe. So what does this mean to you? Let's say that you're out there and you don't believe what we talk about at .NET, and that's perfectly okay. But you're looking at React Native or you're looking at Flutter. Those platforms also are going to have to do this. And I think there's work underway in all 3 of them to do it. But when I ask you, I want you to think with me just for 1 second. Who do you think is going to be able to pull this off the most? And that's kind of what Microsoft is putting their foot out there. And they're like, hey, we have .NET, we have this great kind of like framework that's the underpinnings for everything. And now we can target the project to multiple platforms at once. And this is when I said like last year that cross-platform mobile development would be a thing. It's actually going to be more than that. It's going to be just cross-platform development, period. And so your tooling will allow you to do that as a developer. And it's so it's something to look at. But Maui's not going to be here in November. It's going to be a 2021 thing. But
right,
this should focus in your learning of like, this is the where this is going. And again, you'll be able to use C# for all of these things. And it's really cool. Now, not only in Maui, they also have WinUI. They have a lot of other project reunion. They have a lot of work going on different teams inside of Microsoft, but they'll have one goal, which is like, how do we use one project and then just target the device that we want it to run on? And that's really what they're doing. And I think that Maui is the future of Xamarin Forms. Xamarin Forms will get a big release. I've seen some pre-stuff of what they're trying to do. And it's very, very cool. And then after that, I think they're going to target, it'll be called Maui in 2021 next year. But that doesn't mean that your Xamarin projects go away. It just means that you're going to have to do some work to get it to run under this probably. They may give you some migration tools, or you may have to like, open up a new project and fix all the bugs. I'm not really sure how that will work out. But what I always tell people this is when you see a shift, it's an opportunity for developers. And a lot of times developers don't like shifts, which I've never understood that. Shifts make you money. And so like if everyone's going to switch over to these cross-platform tooling and you can learn it, you can absolutely take advantage of that. So I don't think you need to be scared of the shift or say it's not going to work. I do know that if you read the comments on this article, a lot of people are saying, oh, that's just it's pie in the sky. And I'm telling you, this is here. This is how it's going to work. And they figured it out. And .NET 5 is the underpinnings for all of that. And it's really cool going on. Now, I think that will React Native be able to build a Windows app? And leave a comment if you know if it will or if they're even talking about it. I don't anticipate them being able to do that. Google will probably figure this out. And so we'll see. But if you're looking at major tooling companies and major things that are going to change the way apps are built, .NET MAUI and the way that these companies are going is the future. So it's kind of cool.
So here's an interesting take on this. A couple of these guys are talking about this. Argenis, don't you think a new .NET every 12 months is too much? And then Thomas says almost the same thing. If they release a new version every 12 months, how are they upkeep of software, timeline, and costs affected?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more like, think about, Windows is updating every month. So like, I think what they're saying,
not like a massive overhaul, is it? It's not a whole new thing.
Right. So you need to keep these platforms updated so that security is there, and they'll do incremental releases along the way, but they'll have these massive builds every year. But I think I don't think it's going to impact your project. Your project isn't going to break one day. You'll just open it up and then it'll migrate over. Right. And then they'll talk about the new features of the language or the targeting, the tooling, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's good. I mean, I really do. I think it's great. I mean, I don't like having things that gets old and busted after a year, or you're making this app that's not really it doesn't look good because that's the way the tooling kind of built it. So like there's a lot of things that I think it's a good move in their direction. It's all open source too. So
yeah, and actually David's asking a question about that too. What do you think about Microsoft becoming totally open source? I think that's ever a possibility.
.NET's core is open source right now.
Yeah. But, I just wonder, I'm guessing not. I don't think all their products are ever going to be. I don't think that's not their thing.
And then too, like think about it, the resources to make the stuff that they're making can only be achieved by a big company. So like, if you have like a 3-man shop that's making a JavaScript library, it's cool and they can open source it and other people can work on it. But to do these things at this level, you need some degree of like roadmap. Where are we going? Where are we headed? What are you guys working on? Those kind of things. So, but there's a lot of open source. They've come a long ways. And to their credit, they're trying to make this run on everything, which is cool. And so they're not as closed in that regard where it only runs Windows or only runs on Windows Phone. I mean, so like that part of it being open, I think is a very step in the right direction. And then when you look at Apple, I know you're fans of Apple, but on the development side, they're very closed. I mean, like, Swift works on Apple. That's it. And it probably won't ever do anything else. When is that? We don't care. But this thing will run on Mac OS. It'll run on Windows. It'll run on all the mobile devices. Cool. Any other questions?
I have one more question about this, but one thing quick. Brian's here. We wish you, Brian. I don't know where you were. You didn't get a call out at the beginning.
Sorry.
Say hey, you mom too.
Say hey, mom.
Alex Lee's here too. He said, "What did I miss?" And Beth answered him. Tarantula the new Windows stuff, which that pretty much sums it up. Actually.
That's it. Tarantulas and new Windows stuff.
That's about it. You have to go back and watch the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let me look here. Here we go. About security and cross-platform between Windows, Android, and Apple. Will there be one method to keep things secure, or will it need to be redefined for each platform in the app? So how does that work?
Yeah, so like it's going to be one platform, period. So the compilers and all that is going to keep keep it running on each of those platforms. So, but if you have things like different kind of things that are targeting a specific device, like an Android thing, I think that's going to be addressed in the platform itself. But with Xamarin, you can always do compiler native things, so you can build native apps. They're just saying now that's going to go away, that you just build this one UI and then you have this code base that can share between the apps. And if you need to do something specific on Android, you'll still be able to do that inside of Xamarin. But it's going to be one kind of unified .NET platform that handles all those things. So I think it's always going to be an issue, man. No matter what they do or whatever you do, there's new security things that you're always going to have to think about. So it's just going to make it easier to build the app.
There you go. It's a great question from Tyrell. Thanks for the question, Tyrell. Is it worth getting ahead on learning for these new coding releases? Like, is Blazor worth learning now, or is there no demand in the job market for it? So wait till there is demand. Great. So
there's some demand for Blazor now. Blazor just went in production. That's another announcement we didn't talk about in .NET when build is 3.2. So Blazor is fully produced for production-ready products and supported by Microsoft. I do believe there'll be some movement there, but we'll just have to see kind of what people are doing. If you're already coding today, yeah, Blazor's worth knowing. It's worth at least like do the to-do list, do the hello world stuff, understand how you do authorization in a Blazor app, understand how database access works. It's definitely worth looking into. If it's the only thing that you know how to do, no, Blazor's not like, it's not that yet. And we may be saying that next year that Blazor takes over the world and that's the way you should build your apps. Right now, that's still full stack web dev with ASP.NET. Yeah, but and then too, this stuff's all merging too, which is kind of interesting, Tyler. Like it's very interesting. Like I'm looking at a Blazor client side now, looking at like what's in .NET 5 for Blazor client side, and it's like when you want to do auth, you're building all your controllers on Web API. You're still doing the same things you did on the MVC app. You're just now using a different front end tool for Blazor to build the front end. So if people want you to build a Blazor front end, you need to kind of know how to do it, but it's definitely not, there's not 10,000 job posts out there for Blazor today.
Right.
So I would definitely learn something like C# and, ASP.NET right now. If that's the one thing you know how to do.
We'll go to this slightly unrelated question before we jump onto our next topic, but how's the experience developing on Visual Studio inside a virtual machine with your new laptop? So on your Mac, how was that experience?
Seamless, man. The 3 fingers. I can go right over there. It's seamless. And so like you can also build Xamarin straight into, I don't have to do anything. So like before on Windows, if I build an iOS build, I would have to like hook up my iPhone, or I've got Mac and Cloud, or like what we did, we would set a Mac Mini on the network itself and just hit it through IP address. And so there was a little bit of a setup. We'd solved all those things in the class and in production, but this makes it super cool. I mean, I think it's a lot easier. Does that mean I'm going to own a Mac for the rest of my life and I'm fully converted? No.
Okay.
I mean, like I'll probably go back to Windows. We'll see though. We'll see. But next year I may have something different. But right now it's kind of cool. It's neat.
Right now it works.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about our next story here, our next jumping off point. Let's do.
And Kurt, I'm using Parallels, by the way. I'm not using Boot Camp, so I'm using Parallels. So it works flawless. So we got another one?
We do. Apple and Google release phone technologies to notify users of coronavirus exposure.
Yeah.
So we talked about this the other day. I didn't realize this was even a thing until this morning, and then we talked about it.
Yeah.
So they've joined together, I guess, to do this. So it's on a sort of, it's an app, I guess, or going to be an app.
Yeah.
On each of these kinds of devices. So basically the idea is that when it communicates with other apps over Bluetooth that you have been in contact with, you can basically then flag yourself like, yes, I have coronavirus. So you'd be like, oh man, I was near that person like on this day, and it'll flag you and it'll notify you that like, hey, you've been within a certain radius of this person.
Yeah.
So privacy is obviously a giant issue here.
Exactly.
But here's what they're saying. They're saying that it doesn't use GPS, that it uses Bluetooth, and it's opt-in.
Right.
There's a lot of people looking at this, including like states are looking at this. So closest to us, South Carolina is looking at this.
Right.
South Carolina is like, hey, we want some of this. We want to know like how this works.
Right.
We want to use this app. Would you use it?
No.
Okay.
I just wouldn't do it. Like, like I'm tracked enough as it is already. Like, I just don't trust them to like make it opt. They'll say it's opt-in until it's mandatory. And then one day it's coronavirus, and the next day it's something else. You know, like I was near
like
else.
Subway sandwiches.
Yeah, you know, yeah. So like they're gonna serve ads to me.
Concern. Yeah,
they're gonna serve ads to me.
Yes.
You know, those kind of things, and they just stick it right on my phone, and suddenly it pops up. So I don't like it. I mean, I just don't like it. I think there's I don't know, man. I think it's way intrusive, you know, just like taking your temperature. Like, so my wife works at a company that's an international company, and they build, I don't want to say what they build, but they build a really cool product that's sold internationally in the manufacturing environment. And they had like 6 or 7 international people coming into their office because that's what they do. And they had to take their temperatures when they come in. But the guy remarked, he said, this is the 6th time I've taken my temperature today.
Wow.
You know, because I guess he's in the US touring whatever he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but like, so like it gets to be overkill at some point, you know, like what are we doing? You know, like, I don't know, but I don't want a hazmat guy in a hazmat suit tackling me because I came in contact with 6 people with coronavirus.
Well, this is the thing. Like, what does happen right now? They're just saying this is just for your own personal. Like, this is for you to know.
Right.
So you're supposed to like, if that happens, you're supposed to like self quarantine or whatever the guidance is. But like, what happens next? What's the next thing after that? Does it like? Are you then forced to go on lockdown? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, this 14-day quarantine at the moment is like it's self-imposed. What happens when there's like somebody next is saying like, well, we know you left the house, so we're going to have to like arrest you about that or fine you or whatever it is. Like, you know, it's kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy. And it's Apple and Google telling me that they're the ones that's going to tell me that this is true. I don't know if it's accurate. I mean, we know that it's not like everything these guys release works flawlessly.
This is true, David. I mean, for sure.
This is all this is about, man.
I mean, always want more data about it. That's how it works, right? Because that's how they're going to serve you ads. That's just fact.
Yeah, it is fact.
Yeah, Luke Slytalker says the new iOS update adding contact tracing, apparently. Yeah.
So they're going to do it, and then it's opt-in today, but it won't be.
Right.
I promise you that. And then, so, you know,
it's going to be interesting.
It makes the case to buy a Windows phone, I guess.
If there ever was one, it's the only.
Hey, the Duo's coming, man. You know, we want the Duo. You know, that's what we want. They're going to build it.
It'll be $2,000 and 3 people will have it, and it'll be unsupported. That's what's going to happen.
And it'll break a lot. You know, like it'll break a lot.
Exactly. It'll break a lot. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's a crazy time we live in, and you have to. There's this line between privacy and something like this, because on the face of this, if you took out all the other stuff, you'd be like, wow, okay, that's a good idea. Because it'd be, I would like to know if I came in contact with somebody who had it. Like, I get that. That's great. If I've been within 10 feet of somebody who's had it, I would like to know that information. But what do I have to give up to get that information?
Right.
That's the thing.
And but see, what if they're wrong about you? Like what if they're wrong about you and they're telling everyone that you're walking around that you have coronavirus?
Well, I think at the moment this is a self-reporting. It doesn't really know. Yeah. It's not like it's linked to your medical records or anything crazy like that at the moment. Yeah, I think it's self-reporting. I think it's right yet. I think it's like one of those things where you say, yes, I've had this.
Yeah.
So there's that side of it too. Not everybody's honest.
Yeah, no.
We all know there's plenty of trolls.
And then it won't work if it's going to be, it won't work like they're saying if it's like opt-in. It won't work.
We'll see. They're going for it, and some places are definitely.
Yeah, it's coming, dude. Like again, like it's another shift that's coming. So like, you know,
yep,
you're gonna need a personal firewall, is what you're gonna need. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
That blocks signals to your person.
Something like this, right? This universal ad blocker real life edition. Yeah,
exactly.
There's some sort of definitely
personal EMP.
What if it turns off Bluetooth? Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know.
Exactly.
It won't work. I mean, it won't work. I guess they're trying to combat the privacy concern people by saying it's not GPS, because then it's like permanently tracking you. I get that. Maybe if it was somehow, I don't know, maybe more anonymous. I don't know. I like the idea, but I hate the way you have to execute.
And then another thing too is security, man. Like if I'm sending out this thing over Bluetooth, you know, people can. There's already blue jack things going on. You know, like
yeah. So, well, yeah. If you guys didn't see the thing from yesterday with Keytron, which was awesome, and he's gonna come back again too. By the way, you guys, we're gonna have Keytron back on again. We might have him on as a monthly guest. Yeah, that's what we're gonna try.
Try to do. Yeah.
But yesterday, we were talking about. When we talked yesterday, I immediately left here and I went down and spoke to my wife, and I was like, "Hey, don't ever sign on to a public Wi-Fi ever again."
Never.
I'm like, we were talking about this today, and I was like,
never.
Don't ever do that.
It's so easy, man. It's so easy to do, and it's like
scary.
It's scary how easy it is.
So we're gonna have him on next time and have him show us like an exploit thing, which will be super interesting. Maybe we'll set up a virtual machine of some kind, and we'll have him like break into it. It'll be super interesting. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's see. I love the Simon misses his Windows phone. Do you really? I actually have one back here somewhere. Like it's not the Windows phone. We got a Zune. Yeah, the Zune's cool. I like the Zune. I had one of the phones that was one of the very, very early Windows phones that had the keyboard. I think it was a T-Mobile something. I forget what the brand was. Pre-iPhone. But I have it somewhere in one of these bins back here. Maybe I'll get it out for Monday.
Cool.
So next story. This one's a good one.
I like this one. I think I know the one you're talking about.
This one, heavily coronavirus related. This one.
Yeah.
This one's a top tip. So we talked before about Star Wars masks.
Yeah. Which I think that should come back.
Like if you could have a coronavirus Star Wars mask, it'd be kind of cool. Turns out people already thought about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Bane masks, business booms amid pandemic. Now, I don't know what we talked about this before. You had you believe in humanity,
right?
And believe that they're not actually buying these thinking they're safe.
I don't think they are.
I, on the other hand, believe that there's some very stupid people that are probably buying these things up thinking they're actual masks.
No, I think there's a lot of us geeks out there that like to dress up. It's just weird. And now we have an excuse. Like, you know, it's like if someone walked into Walmart wearing a Mandalorian helmet, people would go, that's pretty cool. You know, like, does that work? I mean, how's that working out for you? You know, like, and then
I think that's the thing. It has to work.
The Bane mask doesn't block your vision. And so it's way better. So.
It is. No, I get that. He's asking, do you have to talk like Bane?
Yeah, man. It should have a voice filter in it. That's absolutely. Now you're thinking, Simon. You're onto something now. You get, but this is like the plastic mask. I think it was the U.S. government came out and said the plastic masks mask doesn't help with COVID.
Yeah.
You're going to the costume or your local Halloween costume shop, and you're buying your $8 Bane mask.
Now, it would be cool if you start with like the N95 mask first, whatever, and you build it out to be like a Bane mask. That I'm down with. That I'm in for.
Put the real filters in it.
And if you have one with the real filter, now I'm like, okay, if I got to wear a mask, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Like I said, next time I go to Disney and it's like Star Wars and I'm in line for that new Millennium Falcon ride or whatever, and it's like, and I'm wearing my like Stormtrooper helmet, I'm like, now this is cool.
That's it. But what I was saying, like, what we were talking about, so when you put your Bane mask on or your Stormtrooper helmet on, then your face rec on your iPhone doesn't work anymore.
It doesn't. It actually doesn't even work if you just have a mask and cover your like a bottom part of your face.
Yeah.
But I did see that they are in the next iOS update, they're adding it. So, which I'm guessing by adding it actually means they're removing points on your face for facial recognition, is my guess.
Yeah, so they're making it less accurate.
They're making it less accurate. I'm guessing they're making it less accurate so that you can wear a mask. I'm guessing that's what's happening.
So you put your QR code on your Mandalorian helmet, you follow the code, never take it off ever. And then you don't have to worry about it. You can always open your phone. It just scans
You
the QR
never
code.
take it off ever. I love it.
So Adam's got a comment here. He was saying that. What was he saying?
Oh yeah, right here. I saw this one. Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, see, he's with me. He has no faith in humanity. I'm totally with you, Adam. I totally believe this is fact.
There's no way someone's that dumb. They get a Halloween mask. They're like, there's not even a filter in it. It's just like,
if you read the rest of the story, by the way, too, they do say, if you get into here, they're saying that in general, masks are selling more. Like, not just the Bane one, but masks in general. And I'm thinking, because on the news, they're like, buy a mask. And it's like, are they just seriously thinking, like, I can go buy I don't know, like a Halloween mask? I can go dress up as Freddy Krueger, and that's going to be the same thing as wearing a mask? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jason Voorhees masks are like selling through the roof at the minute. Like
hockey mask.
Like, not the same thing, man. Doesn't work. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. So yeah, so we were onto something with our Star Wars masks.
And so they're asking for links in the chat. I want to see if
I can, yeah. Hold on. Let me,
we'll do that.
Here you go. Let me put this in the chat down here. And what I'll do is after this too, I'll go put them down in the description too, so you guys can see them afterwards if you wanna link out to them.
The Bane mask. No, but what I will say about this article was they said that Bane was unstoppable. The DC character is unstoppable. And I'm like, in the comics, kinda, in the movies, not so much. Especially watch the third one. Yeah, he broke Batman's back, but like by the end of the movie, Batman, killed him pretty easily. I don't know why. I guess this movie, but he wasn't unstoppable in the movies.
Getting Halloween costumes is gonna be tougher than getting toilet paper. That's true. This could be the new thing. This is gonna be the new thing. It's gonna be the new shortage.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if I don't know where you are, Simon, but here they have these Halloween USA stores that pop up all over the place. Those things are going to be like gold. They're sitting on inventory now. That's like,
we're gonna sell me some.
Yes, they're rubbing their hands together. Exactly.
So but I'm telling you, man, like Mandalorian helmets with capes, that's coming back. That's what should happen. So,
yeah.
I've got a Stormtrooper helmet.
We do. We have a couple of helmets in the other studio, don't we? We have the we do. That's right. You should go to the store wearing it. A mask is a mask. So that's not. Sorry. No female superhero wearing mask. Yeah.
Okay.
You can just go for a Stormtrooper mask. It still works.
I guess the Captain Marvel mask. Well, she didn't have one, does she? I'm trying to think who does wear a mask. Black Canary in DC. She's got like the classic just eyepiece.
Okay, that seems to be the one. Yeah, if there is a lady superhero, it seems to be just the classic, just Robin style, just mask.
I don't know if there's a female hero that has a full mask. Maybe Ironheart or something like that.
I don't know if anyone knows. Put it in chat. Yeah, that would probably make sense. Yeah. Okay. Let me see here.
We're at 10 minutes, man. We've been here for an hour already. Come on. So
we have almost. Last thing to talk about. No, some of you guys were talking about this in Discord earlier, which if you haven't already joined Discord, you can go ahead and do that. Description is in the link below, so you guys can talk over there to. Let me see. Where do we have it here? Here we go.
Here we go. Power Rangers.
Power Rangers. Okay, there you go. Power Ranger.
So
Spider-Woman?
the Yellow Ranger, Spider-Woman does have a mask. She does. Yeah.
Isn't Spider-Gwen have a mask too?
Spider-Gwen does have a mask. That's cool.
That's
yeah, now
popular.
we're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That one's pretty popular. So there you go. So yeah, so last thing to talk about. Not this one. What am I doing here? Wrong one. Sorry.
I
already talked about that one. These don't pop up in order on my little thing here. Here we go. Yeah. This one. This is the one we actually need to talk about. So Apple AR. These like little leak things keep coming out all the time.
Yeah. So
there's another one this week.
People think I'm crazy, but I've been talking about this for 2 years. Like, and here's the reason why, Kevin. Like, I've bought like multiple versions of AR head units. You've seen them in the office. I've been playing with them for a long time. So between HoloLens and the Meta 2, I've used a lot of these. And what I've been saying a lot of times when you ask me what's coming, that AR is the game-changing tech that's coming.
Yep.
And I've said this for 2 years, and you can test this. As soon as Apple makes one of these things, the whole landscape will shift. And now these things are actually going to be real. And that's what they're saying.
Yep.
And so like what I expect to happen, and I'm going to future tell here, and I don't know, I don't work for Apple. I'm not a Mac rumor guy, but there's Mac rumor guys that know more than I do. But they have their dev conference this year. I guarantee you they're going to announce it in 2020. With a release date of 2021. I guarantee you they're going to show one. I would bet money on it.
We'll talk about 2021, 2022, and 2023.
Yeah.
So like the rumors on the dates are all over the place. But what I do agree with that the rumors are talking about is that it will be an add-on like your Apple Watch is to your phone, right? Yes. They're linked. Right. The glasses will be linked to the phone, and the phone will provide the processing power. The phone will be the computer.
Right.
The glasses will be the device for viewing.
Right. And so like when you look at HoloLens, HoloLens is a computer on your head. So it's got
big, it's bulky.
It's big and bulky. But I think they solved two different problems. This is going to be a consumer device. The game-changing tech here, and the only thing that keeps them from releasing this, I believe, is being able to process video wirelessly and fast enough for it to work.
Yep.
Because you don't see a cable coming down and plugging into your slot.
No.
So like if you look at a Meta 2 headset, and I'm assuming they're still making those where you would buy like a computer and you'd wear in your backpack and you plugged it up into the headset itself for it to do the AR rendering. But I do think like games, like if you've played the VR games, like, Vader or like the Star Wars games, and then you play things like Pokemon Go is something that would be a target for this glass device.
100%, definitely.
And less about like fully immersive, like AAA video games. So I don't think it's going to be that. This thing's going to serve you ads. It's going to give you context information based on your location. Apparently it's going to tell you probably if you're near a coronavirus person. So like,
probably. It'll probably even tag. Oh, imagine that. You're walking around and they like
it gives you an arrow that goes like this. They turn now.
No, I imagine like looking at that person and then being surrounded by a red glow.
Right? Oh my gosh.
That guy.
That's so creepy. He's just on.
It is, but I would like that. Like that. I want that. Like that. Now we're talking. Now I like that. It is truly what it says. It's augmented reality. So it's an overlay for reality. So you have to have things in reality for it to show. And somebody was asking about working with prescription lenses too. They have said, and this will be, I know this will be a thing, that it will definitely work with prescription lenses. If it doesn't, they're shooting themselves in the foot.
No, it says in an article that prescriptions will be in it.
Yeah, it makes total sense that it would. Yeah. That just makes sense.
And so if you know anything about prescriptions, which I have like glasses and stuff like that, like basically they just take the frame size and they cut your prescription to fit the frame itself. The camera is in the frame, and so like how these work, I don't know how exactly this one's going to work, but there'll be. If you're looking at my glasses, like here, you're going to see a piece of lens that shines down in this glass. and it'll reflect into the glass. Now, some of the people are reflecting the image in your eyeball, and then they reflect it right on your retina, and then you see that projected out there because it's on your eye. I imagine these will be projected in your glass, and what it'll do is just give you this translucent display out in your field of view, about like 3 feet from your face.
Yep.
And so,
people are already thinking about
yes.
things to do with this. So something like this, that's a great idea, Simon. Yes, like navigation. Adam's talking about like a history app that overlays historical facts. Interested? Yeah, totally, 100% this stuff.
Treasure hunts, Adam. Treasure hunts. You know, like massive treasure hunts. Or like, let's say that you like Boston, like he was saying, like would be a great place if you want to look at things in Boston and you're walking around Boston. You would have this tour guide the whole time built into the glass. 100%. Yeah. Museums, anything that's doing anything like that to give you context-aware information would be fantastic. You know, a theme park map where you don't carry the piece of paper around anymore. You literally will have voice integration. Say, where's the Spider-Man ride at Universal Studios, and it'll navigate you to it. Those are the types of apps that you can build. Yes, exactly. No, dude, you're so right, Chris. Have you ever walked up and said
a bio of somebody too? Yeah. Like not only recognize the person, like, oh, this is Bobby. He has 2 children. Here's their names. It's like, oh, and his birthday's tomorrow. Or like, oh man, a little pop up like, hey, it's your anniversary today.
Exactly. Like, that's the one you're missing right there.
You know, it's key. It really is. So here's my question to you.
Yeah.
When are you building an app for it?
So I think right now, what you should be doing is, and I've been saying this a lot, and I, one of these days I'll get around to putting my thoughts in a book or something, but like the shift that's coming is when you see shifts in the tech space is when you can really capitalize and really drive revenue for yourself and really create new opportunities. And what I mean by shifts is when the screen shifts. So like you think about this as like in the 80s, Bill Gates came out and said, hey, I'm going to put a PC on everyone's desk. And that was a screen shift from like COBOL and centralized computing. And then that gave us the age of desktop computing. And that ran all the way up through, 97 and today and beyond. In 97, we get this thing called the web. And while it was still on a computer, again, it was a shift in the way the applications are built. And so we start building websites. And then in 07, Steve Jobs comes out and he builds mobile phones. And people made a fortune making mobile phone apps in the very beginning. Now, there's an app store. Now, what they're saying is there's going to be a whole new app store supporting this, a whole new thing. What you should be doing right now is figuring out, how do I build an AR app? Currently, right now, if you look at HoloLens, that's Unity development. Almost exclusively on all the AR platforms, it's Unity development. I would imagine that this is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of Swift. Would be
it's going to be proprietary for sure.
Yeah, that would come out, and that Swift development they'll have it, which they already have an AR toolkit. So like that's the thing that you need to look at and figure out, how do I build devices and get these things working in an emulator as soon as it comes out, but be able to put your crappy, broken, half-working, dumb idea AR app day one in a store, and everyone downloads it for $4.99 because there's nothing else that runs on it. And that's right. Where you need to get. You don't need to make the next killer application. Just build one that works on it, and that's cool. I mean, like, and then you can be there. I will definitely. I'm not missing this shift. I'm going to build something as soon as humanly possible.
As soon as you get your hands on the tools.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. You have some of the tools now already. So the phones do AR right now. So the Apple phones have AR built into them. Right. They do a lot of that stuff already. You can look up some IKEA, let's say. So if you go to the IKEA app, you can pull in some of their furniture and you can place it in your room on your phone and say like, oh, okay, I like that there. That's cool. So that, and I just imagine that app being ported onto the glasses and it just being a seamless thing. They're building a library of these things already.
And so like you should get into it right now. But even like doing something dumb like porting Twitter to it is cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Like where you can see your tweets and it's customized to you, and you can combine like Discord tweets and other kind of posts, and you put it in one kind of unified mashup. That'd be a great AR app. Will 1,000 of those be made? Yeah. But they may download yours 100,000 times for $4.99 in the first 6 months of this, and like you walk away.
Yep.
You know, I think
and you just know that Pokemon Go is going to be on this thing.
100%
That's going to be one
thing.
of the things. And games like that are going to be on this thing.
I think build a treasure hunt, man. Hide something in the middle of nowhere and then tell everyone to download the app for $4 to play. I mean, like that's totally going to happen. These AR games, which I'm talking about, like alternate reality games, ARGs, will definitely move to this. And so building an ARG experience would be very, very cool. I've always thought that if you were an ARG company and you could put brands in an ARG app and make them accessible to everyone, and launch, you could build a whole marketing company around these things. Ad delivery will definitely be in this. They're going to like context sensitive ads, coupons, all that kind of stuff's definitely going to be in it. Search, voice activated search, you know, and just think about it. But the true revolution here is how it's going to wirelessly talk to the iPhone. And that's really, I think, the only thing holding us back is that doesn't work yet. Short range, super high bandwidth, wireless communication of some kind. You're right. That's got to be proprietary because Bluetooth doesn't work. No, Bluetooth's too slow. It can't work over Bluetooth. It's too slow. It barely plays your Spotify channel sometimes, you know. So like, you know, I think that's where it's going to be. All right, let's get some questions here and see what people think. We're running over. Let's see. I don't think that's going to work, Brian. I don't think you're going to be able to wear these in your exams. just like you can't take your phone in, or some places you can't take your watch in either for your sport. Yeah, exactly. You got to turn them off. So it's kind of interesting. Let me see here. Cool, but I agree. Real world RPG could be fun. Absolutely. That's amazing. I mean, like if you look at Pokemon, that's kind of what that is. It's just like but imagine it on a next level with next level, dude. Yeah, like you know, where you just have to find stuff, you know. I mean, it's kind of cool. Yeah. Here you go. Missa, I think a bit of machine learning and fashion shops can have things like trying on clothes without a need for fitting room using AR glasses. Yes. 100%. Imagine if you also went into a store too and you picked up an item. Let's say that I picked up something on the shelf in Best Buy and it looked at the barcode and it just was like, oh man, you can get this cheaper on Amazon. Don't buy it here. Right. You know, and I have it set up to do that just automatically. That's cool. Yeah. Because you can do that right now with your phones. You can scan the things, but it's like when it's seamless and sort of like a little bit, I don't know, I guess more hidden. Like it's more for you. Yeah. But I think this, and then we'll end with this, the next decade, the decade that we're in right now, or it starts next year, however you want to say it. People correct me all the time, but like whatever you think this next 10-year period is, whether that's 2021 or 2020, is going to be the revolution of AR and voice activated interfaces. That is where this shift is going to happen. And I think those two things are going to merge. I think we'll see driverless cars in 5 years from now that are way more accessible than you think. And then that piece of glass that's in that windshield will become another kind of AR type place to put it. Yep. I agree, Adam. This is where we're going to see it too. Disney's going to push this. Yes. 100% they will. You know how they've pushed stuff now. If you've been to Disney like in the last 5 years, the stuff they're doing now is nuts. You go to that Harry Potter world they have, it's so immersive, it's crazy. And they've tried to build in some interactive stuff already with their wands that you can do and that kind of crazy stuff, and things move in the environment. And you can make the dragon breathe fire and all that kind of crazy stuff. Imagine that in AR. Imagine how much bigger that could be in AR. Right. And I think the game that you'll see is like, so let's take my favorite game like Destiny, or you could do this to Halo or Call of Duty or whatever. But if you had like one of the pinnacle game contents, like in Destiny, it's a raid. So if you had a pinnacle game content that you could go physically play with 5 of your friends with an AR helmet, and it's in a specialized place, it's at Disney World or it's at like New York or whatever, but you paid for that premium thing, and then that completion gave you a piece of swag back in the real game, like Fortnite or something like that. So you could go do a Fortnite experience, or you could do a Destiny raid experience that you do physically with AR glasses. That's where it's at, and that's where you're actually playing the movie. Or if you went to Justice League, if they ever make another one, the Snyder Cut's coming out, by the way. But so like if you do that, but then they had an AR experience that tacked onto that. That's cool, and I think that's the future of entertainment, and it's just video game development. But the cool thing about when these shifts happen, you don't have to do it at the AAA level starting out, and that's what I'm saying. You can build something that's kind of cool that people will play because it's new. You know, I think you could have murder mystery game nights. You could have like just a lot of things that you could do with AR tech that you can't do with VR tech, because you can walk around and put your hands on an environment. Escape rooms will go AR. I mean, if you've played in an escape room, all those kind of things will happen.
So when they come out, I know I'm in line. If that's $500, I'm 100% down without a question.
I paid $4,000 for a HoloLens. Yeah, I'm buying them. So like, yeah.
But you've also got to go. I'm guessing it's going to be dependent on having an iPhone too, is my guess. I'm guessing you're going to have one.
Yes.
So you're going to have to buy.
But I'm buying it to build an app on it. That's absolutely. Okay. So looking at AR toolkits, and those things, and then primarily all of my research has been on HoloLens. But I'm probably going to shift it this summer, because like I'm going to look into like how would I build this with on
I think it's an
iPhone device using their AR toolkit, and then I know that I would be ready to roll it to the phone when it came out. But build things that you think would if you could wear it, you could do.
Right.
So, anyway, that's kind of cool.
Crazy cool. So. Okay, let's wrap up.
All right, cool.
Couple things here. If it's your first time here, thank you for joining us. If it's your 51st time here, thank you for keeping coming back. That's the only reason we show up every day at lunch.
Yeah.
Or most days at lunch. Sometimes we don't, but most days we show up at lunch. We had some great guests this week. We had Jen Kramer taught us about CSS stuff earlier on and Flexbox stuff. Yeah. So I hope you guys learned something there for those that showed up. We had Keytron Evans yesterday. We talked about some hacking things. So if you're interested in that, like I said, Keytron's going to come back again. We're going to have him do some extra stuff next time. We may have him back on every month because it was super interesting, and we found it interesting, and you guys did too. So
and we're just scratching the things that he can do. So
he can do a lot of cool stuff. So we're going to do that again. So yes, if it is your first time here, you can check us out online. You can go to coderfoundry.com/job roadmap, and you can sign up for our newsletter there and get our 5 steps to breaking in. You can also, if you're interested in the bootcamp side of things, go to coderfoundry.com/virtual. We have our next virtual class starting on July 6th.
Right.
There's a lot of apps in for that, so get on that quick if you're interested in that. I don't know, some of you guys already have.
Yeah. So next week we have Balsamiq. Leon coming in from Balsamiq. So be here for that. We're talking about UI and UX.
Yep. And then we have Sean Wildermuth coming in as well. Talk about some stuff as well. It's going to be super interesting. We have a good week next week too.
Right.
And we're still booking guests for the following weeks as well. So we'll let you know them as they come out. And don't forget, Thursday next week, definitely join us Thursday.
Our big announcement.
We have a big announcement on Thursday.
So at least we think it's big. I hope y'all do too. So
yeah. You will. It's good. I like
All right,
it.
Cool.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. All right. Well, guys, have a great weekend and good luck and keep coding. See you Monday.
See you guys later.